Greetings, M squared here, and we're going to use point-slope form to write some equations of lines. So remember, your point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. This y and this x are the real y and x. The other ones are going to be numbers. So this y is the y-coordinate of the point you're given, this x sub 1 is the x-coordinate of the point you're given, and m stands for slope, if you remember. So we're going to just plug everything in. Now, we have y equals y sub 1, which is 5. Oops, sorry. Y minus 5 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So that goes there, and this comes over here. That's kind of how it works. Now, if it's not specified that you have to write it in standard form or in slope-intercept form, then you're done. That's the answer. But if you had to write it in y-intercept form, you need to get rid of the parentheses and get y alone. So let's do that just in case. Y minus 5 equals 3x minus 6. So now if it's slope-intercept form, we add 5 to both sides, and we would get minus 1. If it was standard form, we'd move that over, but then we'd, well, I was going to just talk about it, but let me write that down. If it was in standard form, so that's y equals mx plus b. If it was standard form, that's an equal sign, then I'd have to move the 3x over, and then I also have to get rid of that negative sign, which means I'm switching all the signs or multiplying by a negative 1 on both sides. So this is standard form, this is slope-intercept form, this is point-slope form. So it depends on what the final product is. If they don't care, then this is really the easy way to go. So I'm going to do this out, but then I'm going to tell you a shortcut if you see slope of 0. So I'm going to say y minus 4 equals m times x minus a negative 3. Now, 0 is multiplied by something, and if 0 is multiplied by something, it doesn't matter what it is, it's 0. So I have y minus 4 equals 0. So this is point-slope form, but if you wanted to get it in slope-intercept form, it would look like this, because you'd add 4 to both sides, and this also works for standard form. What I was going to tell you is that anytime you see a slope of 0, you have to remember that that's a horizontal line, and those kinds of lines only have y's, they do not have x's. So you could have just looked at this y right here and said, oh, it only has a y because the slope is 0, so it must be y equals 4. That's another way to do that if you are observant and you see that. If it was undefined, we would have used the x, and it would have been x equals negative 3. But if not, you can use the formula. It's just a shortcut if you're observant. Last one, y minus a negative 3, so y minus that y, equals m, which is negative 1/4, times x minus 8, which is that x. So if I simplify a little bit there, then I have this. And again, that's perfectly fine as an answer unless they specifically ask you to get it in slope-intercept form, which is easy enough to do. Let's do that. We are going to distribute first, so we're going to negative 1/4 x, and then negative 1/4 times a negative 8 is a 2, and then we'd minus 3 from both sides. So y equals a negative 1/4 x minus 1. So this is slope-intercept form, and this would have been point-slope form. So it's just important to read directions. If you needed to get it in standard form, you'd need to get rid of that fraction and move it over. And it's important to pay attention to what the directions are, because if it specifically says what kind of form they want the answer in, you don't want to get it wrong just because you had the wrong form. Good luck. M squared signing out.